Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rustic Spirit podcast. Becoming enchanted with the Rustic Spirit. Oh yeah, it's been a night. Sorry we're running late. My camera decided it was being in use by somewhere else, and I'm like on my computer, and it kept saying that my camera is in use by another program, and I'm like, what program? And I'm trying to figure it out, and so there's some kind of ghost camera in my thing. I don't know where that's from, so I don't know if someone's like watching me or something. Like now, I was wondering, like there's like a third camera listed, so all I had to do was change the camera. So I don't know what this third camera is and if I'm being watched every day. So that's kind of spooky and scary. I got to look into that later after we're done out of here. So welcome. Light the sage. You're going to clear out this negative energy. Like we said, there's lots of stuff going on. So tonight we have Saralee. She is just a wonderful person. I love her so much, and we have the same spirit animal. So we will talk more about that. But first, we're going to do a little housekeeping and talk about our podcast and our sponsor. So our podcast, Becoming Enchanted with the Rustic Spirit, it is just me tonight. We're normally on Thursday nights, and tonight we're on Tuesday. Due to my daughter's birthday being on Thursday. So Gary is not here with me tonight because he has to get up at 4 a.m. So he is already in bed. He said he might slip down and say hello, but we will see what happens. But we are normally on Thursday evenings at 8:30. We go live on Facebook and YouTube, but then you can always find us on Spotify and iHeart. I believe we're on Apple Music, and we're also on Amazon Music as well. And right now I'm having issues uploading. For some reason, I use Spotify and then it uploads to all of the other places. And it is taking like 4 days to upload things. So I'm trying to figure that whole piece out. If you are here with us, I see we have some watchers. Please say hello and tell me where you're watching from. And sorry, my allergies are a mess. Tell me where you're watching from and tell me your favorite crystal. I don't know. Everybody has a favorite crystal. Mine is rose quartz and obsidian. Those are my two favorites. So everybody has a favorite crystal. Let's see what it is. And we are introducing our spirit flames by the Rustic Spirit. We have our intention candles. Each candle comes with an intention and a affirmation to say as you light the candle, and it helps bring in different things into your life like protection, healing, self-love, stuff like that. And Susan says she got all the squirrels. She's got all the squirrels, and hers is amethyst. And Brittany is here. Brittany is black tourmaline and howlite. I like howlite too. I really do. Excuse me. I don't know why. Well, coming up this weekend, this Saturday, April 12th, at Thick and Thin Brewery in Hagerstown, Maryland, is the Cryptids and Curiosity Festival. Here is some of the special guests. Yours truly. I will be doing readings inside the brewery, and we have the Biker Bigfoot will be making a special guest appearance and vending. I'm really excited about that. And then Black Magic Circus will also be making an appearance and vending at the Cryptids and Curiosities. That is going from 12 to 5, I believe. And then from 6 to 9, they're having a band. And that's Hagerstown, Maryland. And this is Snarly Owl. He is our sponsor. He is the one that is running those events. That event. It's historically cryptid West Virginia. And you can check them out at snarlyowl.com. He actually has a bunch of events coming up soon. This is the one for this weekend. Halfway to Halloween on April 26th. And Rats and Reapers on August 23rd. And that is the large event. That is the big event. It is huge. And there's going to be so much going on with that. I'm so super excited about that one. Our other sponsor is it's Jeff's Paranormal, Jeff's Traveling Boards, but Maine Paranormal and Horror Con on September 6th and 7th. Jeff's Traveling Boards, Jeff and Ashley are hosting this event. That is going to be at the Augusta Civic Center in Maine, and you can get your tickets. Get your tickets now because the tickets are cheaper now than they were. Then they will be at the door. So if you buy online, your single day pass is $25. I believe it goes up to $30. Your weekend pass is $40. I believe that goes up to $50. Your VIP weekend pass is $60. I believe it goes up to $70. And don't get, I might be wrong on the prices here, but they do go up. VIP weekend pass with a dinner party is $120. That is the one to get. Like that is, you're going to be able to bump elbows with all of the stars, all of the celebrities that are going to be there, and there's going to be a lot. I do know that Jason Voorhees is going to be there. I don't have the entire list in front of me, but I know there's all kinds of stars going to be there. And then you can also purchase your mediumship gallery with Patty on through the website, $35. Go to mainparahorror.com to purchase your tickets. It's mainparahorror.com. And then our next sponsor is Loretto. It is the Doss House of Loretto. It's Unique Paranormal, run by Unique Paranormal. They are in small little town Loretto. It is a beautiful little town. It has St. Michael's Basilica right down the street. Beautiful little town. Come out and see them. They email them to book. I believe they're booked through the summer, so they're booking for the fall right now. So please reach out to them if you would like to book for an investigation. And then they are doing an event, Creep It Real, on June 21st, and they are still looking for vendors. I believe there's only a few spots left, so they're still looking for vendors. It's going to be an amazing event with a fantastic lineup. Please go to their website and check it out. If you would like an application to vend, go to the dosshouse278@gmail.com and email them to get your application. And our guest tonight actually has been at the Doss House, is going to be there, and recently did an event there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So without further ado, I am going to bring Saralee on stage with us, and everybody give her a big welcome. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
I love to hear two names like I am.
What's that? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's everybody mistakes me when I go to the Doss House. And you are right. We are booked out. I'm part of Unique Paranormal as well.
Okay.
We are booked out until the fall, but we had a Friday open, Friday, April 25th.
I thought I saw that earlier when I was scrolling.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. But that's like the only weekend day that we have here going into the summer. And then Creep It Real. I'll get to see you there. So
yes. And then Susan brought us a bunch of squirrels.
Yeah, that's my life.
I know. Both of us.
I know.
We're always sharing squirrel things back and forth. No one sees all of that, but we're always sharing all these squirrel things. Mm-hmm. So Jay Paul says he's from Sharon, PA. His favorite crystal is citrine. And the other side, which I'm assuming is Diane, green aventurine. That's a good one to like manifest that abundance and money. Love that. So Saralee, what is your favorite? Where are you from? First of all, like I asked everybody else, what town are you from?
Yeah, I am from Little Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, right outside of Penn State University.
Okay. Right. And then what is your favorite crystal?
My favorite crystal, I have two probably. I always go with something dark, actually a shungite, for protection, and I seem to break energy computer stuff. So yeah, I was gonna say, you having technical issues, that's usually me. So, and then malachite. I like a good malachite for healing energy.
Oh, I'm still here. My camera went off. Hold on. But keep talking.
See?
Malachite.
I mentioned yep. Shungite and malachite. Malachite, I love me some good healing energy, and my favorite colors are green and purple. So
I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. So I have an issue with malachite, not because I don't like it, but because you never know if it's real or not. That's one of those ones that I think it's faked very often. But I have a real piece of malachite, and it looks completely different than what you've seen, like the fake. So when you see the real malachite, you know.
You know, and my hunk that I have came from New Orleans. So hey.
Yeah, that's got a lot of energy there.
Yeah. Indeed.
Definitely got a lot of energy there. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you recently did an event at Doss House. You are part of Unique Paranormal.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. I guess that's a newer.
It's newer. I've been there, but like I've just started doing more that way in Pennsylvania. With the in memory of Mama Holly. They
Mm-hmm.
opened that house, and there's always energy. It does not disappoint.
No, it
It
doesn't.
doesn't. It does. Yeah, it does not like people to sleep over. The energy is there. So you can
Did you
attempt
sleep
to
over?
stay. Well, we attempted to. I
Oh
know
no.
most, yeah. But yeah, there's something that just doesn't like the sleepover slumber parties at all. So it's like,
Mm.
bye, 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 see ya. And it's just I've picked up on a lot of things there, and I know they've had some other psychics come through and
Mm-hmm.
confirmation of things. So there's another place that I started getting into that definitely should make it there. It's considered the old Cambria County Jail, but it's the
The
old,
old
old
jail. Mm-hmm.
stone. Yep, the old stone
Mm-hmm.
jail. I was supposed to go there with my crew, Unique, in the fall, but my sister decided to have a baby instead. So that was a little more important, a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is
So
definitely.
I missed out on that. I was there a couple weekends ago, but I only walked through one part and did my first remote viewing. So that was interesting. So I don't know if your viewers know, but I was in the jail, but in an office space, like towards the front of the jail. And then Miss Shauna and Jay and some other people that worked there walked through and were just showing stuff. And I was picking up on the energies that I felt as they were walking through the different places in the jail since I've never been there before. So that was a new experience and pretty darn interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now. What is the name of it again? It's called
For what I did,
the jail. What is it? It's
it's the old
Old
stone
Stone.
jail.
I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to look it up so I could share,
Mm-hmm. I think
but
they're like currently working on, so they were only open for tours on Fridays and Saturdays, I believe, and they're going
okay.
into the spring and summer. They're doing flashlight tours, private investigations, but they are like working on their Facebook page and like vamping that up and everything too. So,
Okay.
so I don't have the option to share, but the group that volunteers or works in there and does the tours as the historians of it is Lurking Spirits Paranormal. I know you can find
Here.
them on, yep, that's the
Okay.
place.
That's it right there, the Old Stone Jail.
Mm,
That
mm,
that looks intense.
mm, mm.
That place looks intense.
It is. It is. And it's interesting, Stacy, because I picked up on a tie to Rockview Prison or Penitentiary, and Rockview
Okay.
is out by here by me.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's interesting. Like I'm pretty sure that there's ties to past inmates there that
Sure.
got came here, to Rockview. Once they put a stop to certain things in the gallows there at the old Cambria County Jail, and sent them because we have a chair and all the options, or did, at Rockview. So yeah, it's an intense place, super intense place.
So Jay Paul said it was
Yep.
cool. Both Saralee and Brittany were both spot on with the remote viewing. Yes, I actually just
Yeah.
reached out to Brittany. I want to get her on the podcast too and do and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about what she does.
Yep.
But yeah, they're like that. I've heard a lot about it. I've never done the jail. I've heard a lot about it
Mhm.
and would love. I was actually just talking to Shauna today about it and
Awesome.
some of the things that we're trying to help and trying to do some things for it. So
Yep.
um,
Yeah.
very cool.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
it's in Evansburg. Is that what she's saying? It's in
Yep.
Evansburg?
It's in Emmitsburg. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. which is
Yeah.
essentially right down the road for the most part from the Doss house. So definitely could do
Yeah,
a,
that's what,
a
like
double
15
booking,
minutes.
a back to back. That's actually what I plan to do with a group in May. We're going to
Hmm.
go to the jail, stay over, and then go over to the Doss house and stay over, or attempt to stay over.
Yeah, and then there's there is the oh, the theater, or the library that Dark Hollows runs, that's in
Yep. Yeah.
Nanty Glow. So that's another
Nancy
one, like,
Glow. Yep. It's in that area too. Nancy Glow is haunted AF.
oh yeah, and that's where
Liberty.
Brittany lives.
Yep, I believe it's the she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Liberty Theater there in Nancy Glow.
Liberty.
So,
Yes.
yep, the Liberty
There she goes.
Theater.
15 minutes. Doss House,
Yep.
And there's Crescent.
Oh
Yeah. And then
yes,
you got the
that's right.
Liberty
Oh
and
my
it. Yeah.
gosh.
You got
How could
Crescent.
I forget Crescent?
There's like a 4, like all in that
Yeah.
within like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from each other. You could do them all.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did Crescent the weekend we were there when we did an event down there in Altoona. So yeah,
Yep.
the Liberty
Yep.
Theater. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So lots and lots of things. Lots and lots of things to see in that
Absolutely.
area. How far are you
Yeah.
from that area? Like
A little
State
over an
College is like an
hour.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like an hour and 5 minutes from that little area. So, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's really close for you. So you can go and check these places out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
close to 3, so it's a little harder for me to get over there.
Right.
The haunted heart of Western. You know what? And Brittany, you and I have talked about this because I do a lot of cryptid stuff. That is
Mm-hmm.
like a big cryptid area too,
It is.
like huge.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ridge and like all of that. Like there's a lot of cryptid. It's a hot spot. The Alleghenies is just
Yeah,
a
it is.
hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So how did you get in? I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Nope, nope. Nope. Waiting for your questions.
I was going to say, how did you get into the paranormal? Where did it come from? When did it start?
So, my first experience that I recall was when I was 9 years old. I knew that my grandfather passed away before he passed away. There was just this weird feeling. It was before Christmas. Um, and my dad actually came home from work and like ran into the house and just was like, watch your little brother, and locked the door behind him and was off like a flash. And they never locked the doors. I mean, we're talking 80s, 90s. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Oh, crap.
different
My
from
camera's
today.
off again.
Oh no, different from
So you can hear
today,
me.
but I can hear you. And my grandparents lived across the street actually. So here I am, 9 years old, and I'm able to watch all this action. So all of the police, all of the ambulance, all the fire trucks. But I specifically recall the white van that pulled into the middle of their yard and seeing my grandfather plain as day walking beside the stretcher that obviously had a body bag on it.
Ooh.
So yeah. Um, and then of course, my dad came home, my mother came home early, and yeah, so first experience it was 9, but working with a known psychic as a mentoree. She and I have talked a couple times and realized that I probably had gifts much earlier than that because I recall being younger and knowing what Christmas gifts I was going to get just because I could see it, feel it through the boxes. so, so really early on, young kid. And then my brother saw my grandfather a couple months later in like a rainbow aura. So my parents were like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe she's not as crazy as we think she is.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. I
So,
had similar experiences. Like mine wasn't. I guess I always knew. Like I knew about my baby shower. I knew about
mhm,
Christmas gifts, I always knew
Mhm,
the answers on my tests at school. Like I never
mhm,
had to like
mhm,
really study. It was like, okay,
mhm,
because back in the
mhm,
90s, it was all multiple choice. It's a lot different.
mhm. Yep. Yeah, I still get the notorious question from the husband as to why can't you pick us the winning lottery ticket, dear? Of which I have to tell him if we could do that, we wouldn't have a lottery. So,
So I have to admit that a little. Do you ever play slots or scratch offs? You ever go into the
so
gas
oh
station
yeah.
and a scratch
Yep.
off says "Buy me," and then you
Yep.
buy
Oh
it and
yeah.
it's a winner?
Yep. Yep, that's the only time I do. And then a couple weeks ago, on Facebook, it was a fundraiser bingo for a local theater. And I was like, you know what? They need to be in business. I'm going to go to this fundraiser bingo. I'd like to go. I went and I put in, like, I gave myself a budget of like $60, and that was to include food and everything, my ticket price. So it was ticket price. I put in for 50-50. I put in raffle baskets.
Hmm.
The first game I would have won, but they played straight bingo and it was a postage stamp or something. So I was like, whatever. I was like, I'm going to win the 50-50. I'll call it a day. Well, I did. I wound up winning the 50-50, which was like $240, and then two bingos after that at 50 and $100. So I essentially left with like $300, and I was like, I need security out the back. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
yep,
mean,
I
I
do the
always
scratch
know,
offs.
like, I'm not saying it always helps, but there's always, there's times where you
Mhm.
go and you think you know, but then there's times where just
Yep,
boom, you just
yep,
know.
yep,
Um,
yep. Yep. I just knew I needed to go to the bingo, and that was
there we
actually the
go.
last time that
Got it.
yay! That was actually the last time my husband was like, "Why can't you win us the lottery?"
I think it's different. I think because I've
It
actually
is.
talked to a couple psychics about this. Like, I
Mhm,
think it's a different type of draw. It's because it's more
mhm,
of a live draw. Like, you don't know ahead of time, but when you look at those scratch offs, the
mhm.
winner's already in there.
Yep,
It's different when it's those live draws. I think that's why we
yep,
can't come up with the winning lottery numbers,
yep,
so to
yep,
speak.
yep.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't work that way all the time.
It does not, it does not. But then, of course, growing up then, I went off to college, so stuff kind of fizzled a little bit,
Mhm.
we'll say, or just a lull. But then I met my husband in college. We got married really early on, young, had my son, and I actually had a near death experience. So I was deceased essentially, not here for like 30 to 45 seconds, but it actually felt like I mean, I don't know if you've had people on the
That
show
I
that have
didn't
had
know
near-death
about you.
experiences. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's one thing I
yeah.
didn't know. Okay, let's talk
Yep.
about that.
So ever since then, like the stuff magnified again. So yeah, it was kind of
Mhm.
um so my great grandmother passed away when I started school in college. So and like I said, I met my husband and then had my son really quick. It was it's weird because it's not like rainbows and butterflies and stuff like people think or have said and whatnot. It's really, for me, it was kind of like ominous, like a
Mhm.
fog rolling in, like at dusk,
Okay.
at a cemetery. Um, but the feeling, like, I'm getting goosebumps and
Uh,
stuff. The feeling is actually like, I think that's why people want or have talked about heaven that haven't had a near death experience is like, it's rainbows and butterflies and calm and bright and stuff like that. It wasn't. It was very ominous, dark, gray, like hazy, that kind of thing. But the feeling, it was beautiful. Like really, really,
mhm.
really was. And I felt as though I was there for hours. Like
Mhm.
time wasn't really of existence anymore. It was just me kind of walking through that. But then I ran into my great grandmother, that, like I said, she would have considered herself a witch if she was allowed to in
Mhm.
that day and age. And she was like, "Hey, yo, you just had this beautiful baby, and look, here's your husband, like worried as all get out," which I saw like him in the corner. And
Mm.
then it was, yeah, it was weird. And then I was back. But like I said, it was only 30 to 45 seconds, but it
In
felt
our
like, and
time,
it,
yeah. Yeah.
exactly. But it felt as though I was there for days almost, just, hanging out and walking and walking and walking. So, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
And then
pretty
things,
cool, I want to say. Like,
right.
but also scary, like,
Yeah.
but surreal. A very
hmm
surreal experience.
Surreal. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But then everything, as far as talking to and seeing spirit and stuff like that now, um, like, I don't know how it works for you, but I sometimes I can see a person and they give me names and stuff, but most of the
Mhm.
time they give me symbology. So they'll give me
That's
something
what
that
I
makes
get,
absolute
symbology.
sense to you. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And then I get body.
yeah.
I'm a physical medium, so I feel
hmm
things
hmm
in my body and stuff like that. Yeah.
hmm Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Because if they passed of like heart attack and stuff like that, it's usually like a
Yeah.
flutter, anxiety
Yeah.
on my chest heavy. So cool. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
we worked the same,
Yeah.
but
And
yeah.
then, like, if it's a
Yeah.
male, I usually get like my right side tingles, and if it's a
hmm
female, I get my left side tingles.
hmm
I know John
Yeah.
has different symbols too, like his different
Yeah.
like agreements. John is what he
Mm,
calls them, different agreements that
okay.
um
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
pick up on.
Mine is like that too. Like the heavy, strong maternal is the left side. So the
Hmm.
female energy, and then the paternal or strong male is right side. So, yep. Yep. Right there
Hmm.
with you. Right there
Yeah,
with
and
you.
it's cool how all of us, like, it's very similar symbols, but it's also different
Mhm.
at the same time. Um,
Mhm.
so how did you end up starting the paranormal investigating? Like, how did you end up getting into doing that?
I've always, I think, lived in a haunted house too.
Yeah.
Growing up, and yeah,
Isn't that funny how
and
we always end up in haunted houses?
indeed. So, and I think, like I said, my great gram, and she always, and she's here all the time too. She's like, quit calling me that. It makes me like I'm old. So my Grammy Lois, and she actually went by her middle name, not her first name, which I like to do a lot. And she, like I said, would have been a witch. So I think she was like, "You're going to go do this. I'm going to live vicariously through you. I'm going to help you through this and
Hmm.
everything." So I was just intrigued. And it was more with like my psychic gifts and abilities. So I went to these paranormal cons, and that's actually really where it had
Okay.
started. So I knew of haunted locations and that stuff to go to. So that's kind of, I was just
You were
intrigued.
kind
And
of
then
drawn. You were kind of drawn to it.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Hmm.
and then that's where I started into it, and like you said, like the 3.5 hours, that's pretty much the average to get to a place for me to investigate,
Yep.
so,
Yep. Me too. Yep.
you know.
So, like, I know when I was when I was in my teens and younger, it was always investigating, and being where you're at, there's a lot there,
Mhm,
investigating local urban legends. Like, we'd go out and drive down to the covered bridge, and I lived in I'm outside of Baltimore, so I lived in, like, John Wilkes Booth house was there, and
mhm,
there's a lot of history. um so history was always been I think I was always a history buff, and that's what kind of drew me into the paranormal, was the
yeah,
history of it. Just feeling the energies of, like, just imagine once who was here, and then, oh, that
mhm.
person was here. um did you do that kind of stuff, like that, like urban
Mhm.
exploring when you were younger? And
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, go to cemeteries and stuff like that." I'm like, I don't really feel a lot of energies at cemeteries. It's usually those places. Yeah, I
yeah.
go in, same thing. Love history. Um, but I try to go in blind to get those
Mm-hmm.
energies like you're saying, and then like really look into the, oh, well, that's why that makes sense because yeah, here it's on that record, of
Mm-hmm.
what's happening here. So, yep, just I'm intrigued. Let's go exploring, shall we?
It's exploring explorers,
Hmm.
paranormal explorers. I think there is a
Hmm.
team that's already called that, but
Oh,
yes.
oh, darn.
I believe there is. I believe that was what's his name's team. Oh, he calls himself the paranormal explorer. I forget his name.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
red hair. But
I like that though. That's what we do. It's not really investigating, it's exploring. Yeah, that's
no,
kind of,
and that's what
yeah.
I do. I explore, yeah,
Hmm.
like that's, I think some investigate, like obviously you and I have filmed for the same show, and that
Hmm.
is starting to air this weekend. The
Hmm.
first
Yay,
episode,
I
well,
know.
that we can actually see in America, airs
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's investigating to me because they're using
Hmm.
science.
Hmm.
They're using so many scientific tools, and it was very cool.
Hmm. Yeah,
So tell
very
us a little
much.
bit about that. Like you filmed with.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
Well,
allowed to talk
uh,
about it
do you,
now.
yeah, I know. Do you want me to rewind though? Because I had filmed and am on national television for a whole other thing before
Oh, that's right.
Brandon's
You
thing.
did do another show. I forgot
That's okay
about
though.
that.
We'll go into yes. So I didn't
Okay.
know that you knew that. Maybe somebody, a birdie might have told you.
Yeah, I'm a little close with some people and that we did that with.
Yeah.
So
Well, I actually picked up on energies of people that were filming during the season
I
that I had
I
done
actually
for that.
know.
So,
I know because the person that you said, "Hey, let's fly out together with," told me.
uh-huh. Yep, I kind of figured
Now
that
you
was
know.
the birdie, but
That's the little birdie.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, but it's funny because I picked up on their energy going and another person that I
Mhm.
know too that I haven't talked to in a while. But
Well, you picked up on
yeah.
mine. You were like, "Are you
Oh
filming
yeah.
with
I was
Brandon?"
like, yep, yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I get that energy. But
And I said,
yeah,
"Maybe."
so maybe. And I was like, girl, I'm psychic. You can't bullshit.
Well, we signed that non-disclosure, so we had to like not
That's
talk
what
about
we
it.
had to
And
play. Yeah, exactly.
yes.
Um,
Mhm.
so I went out, like I said, with my great grandmother, and then I didn't go out with them, but the experiences that I've had exploring the paranormal with guidance of my lovely spirit guide, Grammy Lois, and that first experience that I had at 9 years old. Um, I had approached them about it because, I'm moving. I had moved a bunch of times within like a 5 year span, and every darn house was haunted. So that's what I reached out to Mustafa and Brandon,
Mhm.
who had talked about this project for a long time, and I'm so excited for them. And yeah, so September of 2023, I flew out and filmed with them, and yeah, that location was haunted too because I was like distracted squirrel
I know
when I was
you were
filming.
somewhere else. You were different. You were in a different.
Yeah.
I was season 2,
Hmm.
so
Yep.
you were a different location than I was.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
where were you guys? Can you tell us where
So
you're at?
they picked I don't remember the town, city or whatever, but it was in this like rustic cabin, and it just
Yes.
was so neat. And it was cool because I camped out with my grandparents in like a similar situation. So it was like, okay, cool. This is meant to be that we're talking about my experiences with my family tied heritage spirits that have apparently followed me forever. So, and yeah,
Hmm.
it is awesome. Just the concept of the show with like the twisty turny, like I'm an emotional wreck. I'm already going to tell y'all, all you viewers, like sobbing and stuff. So
I'm trying to figure out which
yeah,
one you're on. Like I'm looking at the episode list right now, but it's not
yeah.
complete. So
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
see
it's not
Andy's
complete, and I know
here.
I was. He's like episode 3 or something like that.
He's
So,
3, episode 3.
mhm.
And then the last ride, Carrie. That's not, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at it right now. But
No,
yes,
no, no, no.
like,
It's fine. Yep. Who knows? He might not have used me or ours or whatever since I was a hot mess too. But
well, I
yeah,
wonder if he has
it
season
was
2.
it might be.
Yeah.
It might be. I know they were working on it for a while and they needed some more people. So on came Stacey Lee, huh?
Yeah, like I first reached out, like mine's a hot mess as well, because my
Mhm.
grandmother is my guide and she's always with me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but I had a lot of hot button paranormal experiences after my mom had died, like a
Mhm.
possible possession, where my
Okay.
mom still lurks. She still, even to this day, does.
Mhm.
And I started taking on her likeness.
Mm. Mhm.
Like I was actually laying in, I don't want to say too much because of the episode, but I was actually laying on the couch after
Yeah.
2 weeks after she died and felt like she came into my body and had this electric
Ooh,
shock, and
okay.
it was really weird. So that's what started it all.
Mhm.
So it's like, well, let me talk to him about it, like, because it was a very
Yep.
tragic death, and I wanted to talk to him about it, and he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And um yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
it was really cool to be able to talk about the experience. But
Yeah,
we filmed at Waverly.
I know, I was so jealous because I wanted to get in there and explore before I left, but like there was so many things going on when I went there. Like there was a jazz fest and just all a
Because it's
game, and
Kentucky. It
I
was,
was
yeah.
yep.
It was
Yep.
Kentucky, and
Yeah.
they paid for your flight. They get you a flight and get you a hotel, and then
Mhm.
they have a driver pick
Mhm.
you up. So I'm like, they didn't tell us where we were going, and I might have known about the cabin already. So I'm thinking we're going to that
Mhm.
cabin, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, I guess about a week beforehand, I was trying to plan because it was my birthday weekend. So we
Mhm.
extended our stay for a couple
Yep.
days. I was like, well, it's my birthday weekend. Let's stay for a little bit. And
Right.
I was like, so yeah, I know something moves behind me all the time, Susan. Um, I think every podcast somebody says that. Every single
Yep.
podcast. It's probably my grandmother because I was just talking about her.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so I reached out to him about like a week ahead of time. I was like, Brandon, I was like, we're gonna be in town. I'm looking at Waverly. I'm like, I'd like to go. It's September. I'm like, I would like to go. It's
Mhm.
early September. I'm like, I'd like to go investigate. But like, there's nothing going on. Like there's no tickets or nothing available.
Right.
And he's like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I think they're closed for the season. He was very evasive about it. And I'm like, oh, I guess they're getting ready for their haunt. I'm not gonna be able to go see Waverly. And the whole
Mhm.
time knowing I was going to be filming at Waverly, and he didn't budge. Like he didn't
Much.
like
Oh yeah.
give me any type of like clue. And then the driver picks us up, and she's like something, and she slipped that it slipped that we were going to Waverly. I'm like literally freaking out in the van. And I'm like, I'm going to
Mhm.
Waverly. I'm going to Waverly.
Uh-huh. It was meant to be.
Yeah, I was done. I was done at that point.
Yep. They had done an event like the day before I got there too, and I was like, man, like I wanted to go down and extend the
Mhm.
stay too, but it just that was ours was a nightmare getting there and like coming back. So I wound up flying on the plane by myself.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, for it was all sorts of delays and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, I had seen it was the same thing, like from going to these paranormal conventions, I've followed these people in the paranormal field. And yeah, he came up with, the two of them had been talking about an idea for a long time. And they were actually looking for, I think, like the central or like Midwestern type states. And I was like, well, I have a story for you, but I'm in little Podunk, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And he was like, shoot me a message. And so we, yeah, talked from my kitchen in the lovely haunted house that was on Kindred Spirits. So yeah, I had filmed with that crew the year prior, I believe, for the
This is
house.
the Haunted
So
Discoveries, Family Spirits, Mustafa,
yay! I'm so
Brandon.
excited for them.
Yes, I know. I
Good
love
old,
what they're
good old
doing.
Craig. He was so nice. He's so
I
awesome.
loved him.
Yeah, I
Like,
did.
I
I
don't
was
know what it
like, "Give me
was.
your autograph." I did. I was like, "Can I have my picture with you? Can you give me
Oh, I
your
didn't do any
autograph?
of
Like,
that.
you're so sweet." Oh, yep.
Like,
Yeah, Craig was sweet.
I left and I'm like, we didn't take any pictures. I didn't get any autographs. Of course, I know Mustafa,
Must,
and
yeah.
Brandon. But
Yep.
I'm like, I didn't do any of that. Like,
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
nervous.
Uh-huh. Me too. Yeah, but that was the thing because it wasn't like straight for Brandon and Mustafa. It was like, Craig, you're such a sweetheart. Can I have like
I know.
him and Kevin? So yeah,
Oh,
I
I
was
love
like,
Kevin.
yeah, I was like, can I have your autographs, guys? You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they
So
are awesome.
yeah, yeah.
So Kindred Spirits, you also filmed for Kindred Spirits. If you want to tell
Yes.
us the season and episode on that one,
So
and a little bit
I
about
can
that.
do that. So I went to the New Jersey Pair Unity that happens in the fall during my birthday weekend.
Yes, that
and
is your birthday weekend.
yep, and they John, Chris, love them. They had said like it was a first real big like star celebrities that were there, paranormal convention I went to. And little fun fact, I don't watch paranormal television. I don't. I just
I don't either.
I've gone to these. Yeah, I've
I
gone to
watch
these
Bigfoot
conventions.
television.
Okay. Oh, we can talk about that then too. I went and John and Chris were like, don't hound them in at their lectures or their tables and stuff about like picking up shows and stuff. And I went to one of the VIP parties and I remember like Amy and Adam were like bombarded with people and I stood up in the
Mhm.
line and to meet and Adam was like, "Oh, you're I thought I already met you and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, you guys are human. Like you need to sit down and eat and stuff." And
Yeah.
just organic conversation. Um, I had said about I have 3 kids that I think have gifts and they're picking up on stuff. It's one thing for me to pick up and experience the experiences in the house, but there's no whole other thing when it's mama bear and like you don't mess
Mhm.
with my kids kind of thing. So he was like, "Hey, just giving you a heads up, like follow us on socials." So I started following on socials and again, the same kind of experience. Adam had posted about them looking close to home in like the Northeast and reached out, gave him an email as to the things that were going on. We're talking thumps and bumps, moving my kids,
Is this your
all
episode's
crazy
called
stuff. We
Shadows in the
are
Night?
on,
Shadow in the Night?
yep, correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, the last, well, what might be the last season of Kindred Spirits. So it's season 7, episode 8, Shadow in the Night. Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
right here. Shadow in the Night.
Yepers.
Yep,
Yepers.
there's the house. Right
Um,
there.
yep, it is. It is the most talked about episode to date.
Yeah, if you
I
look on
don't want
here,
to
it says top
do
rated.
spoiler alerts, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you don't no spoiler alerts, but Amy is
Mhm.
very like gung ho, get it, and she's rather emotional.
Mhm.
Um, and I still that I say I don't watch paranormal TV, but that is the only episode of paranormal TV that I've watched because I wanted to see, what all stuff they got.
Yeah.
Because yeah, they do. They kick you out your house for a week and put you up in a hotel and do their thing. So yeah, yep. So that was before the Brandon and Mustafa thing, but yeah, I've gotten lots of answers and am still intrigued by the paranormal, and I
Are
still
you
go
still in that
explore.
house that was on that show, or you moved?
No, we moved. We moved. We are close by that house. So the
Mhm.
conduits are still a very valid thing. This whole development sits on limestone.
Okay.
Um, there's water that runs behind it. And then I don't know if you can tell in the episode, anybody that's watched it, but there's a train that runs right behind there. And there's a cemetery like at the
Is this
church
in
that's
Bellefonte?
behind it. This, yep, Bellefonte, PA, yep. So there's all the people that know the conduits. There's all the conduits to brew up some spirits or give them energy.
Yes, I
So,
actually at the end of May, in Memorial Day
mhm.
weekend every year, I'm about 30 minutes from Bellefonte, PA.
Ooh,
It's in
yeah,
Woodward.
yeah, yep. I know where you're coming from.
Yep,
Yep,
Woodward.
yep.
We stay at a cabin in there.
Awesome.
Love the place. I
Yeah.
love the area, but the area is pretty intense.
It is. Oh, it is. We've got all the lovely conduits. So I have friends that are like avid fishermen and stuff, and they come to the creeks and parks and stuff around us.
Penns
So,
Creek.
yep.
Do you have Penns Creek
Mhm.
run through you, or yeah?
We do. And then we have Spring Creek is the big one that's real
Okay.
close to us. So, yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intense in that area. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've felt it a couple
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. But
you recently were at the Doss House
mm-hmm.
doing readings with
I
Brittany,
was. Yes.
and I know you've done a reading for me before, and you were spot
Mm-hmm.
on.
Well,
And you
thanks.
always know when to reach out to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could
Yeah.
go back to that, you were like, something's going on. Do you want me to read
Yeah.
it for you?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And I
So
don't know if my sister's viewing, but she says, she's like, get out of my head, because I do that a lot
mhm,
to her and I'll read her. And I'm like, why? It's more fun in yours than mine. So,
yeah, exactly. So you do you you're just starting to kind of put yourself back out there. I know you have
mhm.
a can we say talk about your
Oh, yeah.
health?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
No,
But
that's fine.
I know you have a chronic illness. So I
Hmm.
know that stands in the way of a lot of what you want to do, but you're starting to put yourself back out there, right? I mean,
I am.
to offer readings to people and do things like
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said I was spot on. I was at the Doss House with my girl Brittany. And I did readings. I do oracle card readings, so they're kind of like tarot, but it's not tarot. They do have numbers on them, so I'll associate numbers, like adding it and factor in what the meaning of the number is with tarot, but that's the only kind of crossover I do. And like I was telling you, Stacy, I first and foremost get um, that maternal or female energy, and I um, get names and those symbols to do that kind of reading. And then I do a past, present, future. So, like the spirit that's showing me the symbols for the person I'm reading, um, I flip those three cards and talk about the past or what they're showing me for your past, your present, and like what you should do for the future. And I did that for about 10 or 11 people, I think, at the Doss House 2 weeks ago. And all of them have been reaching out. And actually, one person that was meant to be there, I was picking up on three different energies. Like, I was like, where is this person? I need this person. They actually reached out to me, and I just did a reading for her a couple nights ago.
Awesome.
So, and yep, she said spot on, and her guide was very, very, very good. And then said about a book, and I was like, they're showing me about like you should be journaling, and they were like, holy crap, and I was like, yeah, because they just keep showing me the book, and then this spirit was so good, it showed me a book I had bought that's all poetry for childhood trauma. And this person was like, I have been writing about that. And I was like, yeah, and you're a healer and you need to do this. Write it. they're telling me like you need to write it. And I was like, I get the first autographed copy since your spirit's telling me you need to do this. So, but
Oh
she
my
said I was
goodness.
spot on too. Yeah. So,
Awesome.
um, I I saw Diane. I think it was Diane. Yeah, Diane was
Yeah.
one of the ones that I read.
Yeah. Since you were
And like
amazing, you
her,
picked up on so many things going on in my life. That was
yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
think I reached out to her the other day too because I was like, they're still nagging on me with like, what is with this one thing? And she was like,
And that
it
happens to
makes
me
sense.
sometimes, like afterwards, like it
Hmm.
keeps
Hmm.
coming through. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's like the best thing when you're reading people, like to get that confirmation, like,
Hmm.
oh, like to feel like, okay, so this isn't just shit I'm making up in my head, like it's.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah. So
So
now
I
that's like
wanted to
a
share.
third time with you
This
saying
was
about it.
this was the reading that you gave me, and
Hmm.
obviously after this there was a bunch of voice messages. You did it through voice, so
Yep.
I'm
And I
not
was
going to
going to
share this,
say
but
there was
this
a
was the
lot
cards.
of, yeah, there was a lot of energy coming off of you. So like I said, I usually do past, present, future. But then you had two cards and I usually do like a bottom or like that first card at the bottom. That's like what was
Hmm.
preventing you from moving into the future. And then that other one that was beside it is like what you can do to promote
Yeah.
this happening in the future. But yeah, you had a lot of energy and I reached out to you and I think you had just posted on Facebook or something like, I'm not feeling so happy. I'm a
Well,
little bit
my
sad.
ceiling
And I
had
was like,
remember
boom.
my ceiling had
Mhm,
crushed. The rain had come
mhm.
down, the ceiling, the rain, and there was all kinds of things happening in my life, like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yep.
boom, and it was like,
Yep.
oh my goodness, can this just stop?
Yeah.
There was so
Yep.
many things happening all at once, and
Yeah.
you were like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah. Yep. I didn't know. I had no idea. Like I didn't see any pictures or anything. Like I don't check into
Mhm.
Facebook all the time. I just had seen you're like, I'm feeling a little sad. And I was like,
And well,
I
and
need
Susan's
reader.
like, whatever I'm thinking about Saralee, she messages me.
I'm in everybody's head but my own.
I know. That's because
Yeah.
squirrel. Let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about squirrels. Let's talk
You
about our
know,
squirrels, Sarah.
for real. Okay. So like squirrel is my spirit animal. Squirrel
Why?
is my nickname. Is my nickname because
Hmm.
I was diagnosed with ADHD 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And I actually kind of want to move into because the paranormal, like I was intrigued by it. Now it's a passion of mine with like
Yeah.
the psychic and the metaphysical and the paranormal exploring, investigating. Um, I actually kind of want to look into doing studies as to those of
Hold on
us that
just
are
a second.
neurodivergent. Oh yeah, you're
Can
fine.
you hold on just a second?
Yeah.
I woke her up. She's snoring like an old man. And I was like, I'm going to put it on camera. She's back here snoring like my husband.
It was funny too because I heard something and I thought you were like, okay, the ghost that's behind me. I'm gonna just see
You
if we
know,
get
I,
anything.
I just want to let you guys, that's not me farting.
Oh no, are
Because,
we gonna get into that?
oh, I know. Are we getting, like, where's she at? She's right
Oh
there.
my
There she
god,
is.
she's right there.
She's sitting right
She
behind
is.
me. Because everywhere I go, today
Mhm.
I did all my fairy jars. It's my fairy season, so I do a lot of fairy
Yep.
festivals. And I made all
Yeah.
my fairy jars. My fairy, like, this is this is the one thing I just made today. Like, see, it's like little fairy gardens.
Nice.
Um, and I'm
Nice.
like, every time I get up to go get something or go get a drink or whatever, I literally spent 9 hours today doing this. She had to follow me everywhere I
Mhm.
go. She follows me.
Yeah.
So she's right behind me right
Yeah.
now and
Yeah.
snoring. And I'm like, I'm not farting.
She is out. Yeah, she was running all over before we started. So yeah,
She
yeah,
was.
she is
Yeah, I told
out.
you she was gonna put. Oh, there goes Susan with the little fart emoji.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, oh, we're gonna get into that too. But um
Finish what you were saying. I'm
squirrel,
sorry.
yeah, squirrel moment. No, squirrel moment. See, that's what we can do. We can bounce right back. I
Hmm.
did like I wonder, and I want to kind of do some research. Like those of us that are neurodivergent, I wonder if we're more open to the spirit realm. I kind of feel that we are,
Mhm.
because like I said, I've got 3 kiddos that are my oldest. He did an interview for the Kindred's episode, knocked it out of the park. I was a spaz. He was golden. Um, he's shut that down, and I know males tend to do that, like put up
Yes.
walls
Mhm.
after a certain amount of time. But I've got my middle, who is high functioning autistic. That, you know, he's the one that was like, Mom, they're moving me. And I'm like, okay, because they're a human lie detector. Like, yeah, he's not
Yeah.
lying to me. And
Yeah.
then my baby Chloe, she's going to be something out of this world more than me, because she gets premonitions. She also has flashbacks. And speaking of the Doss house, again, throwing that out there, get to the Doss house. My daughter's never been there. I showed her pictures from the outside, and
I think
Shauna can
Shauna told me
confirm.
this. Yes,
Yeah,
Shauna told me this.
Shauna
Yes.
can confirm, but I did some voice
That's so cool.
recordings for what she was telling me with how many rooms and like the spirit energy she was picking up, and then she
And
drew
she
it.
picked up
she drew.
in the bedroom,
She
right?
drew. Yeah, she picked up the stuff in the bedroom, and then she drew a thing that it looks like King Triton from the Little Mermaids, like his. I guess it's a. I can't. Is it a Triton? The little
Triton.
thing
Yeah,
that that he holds.
the
I think
Triton.
that's why he's King Triton, because it's a Triton.
Yeah.
She drew that, and she said that they're gonna find it's buried in the basement. So yeah, oh yeah,
Mm.
I was gonna say Shauna can confirm, but I like she's never been there, and I had been there a handful of times when she sat there, because it was my 11-year-old daughter that was like, you need to be careful, Mom, this is how many rooms, this is what's here, what's there. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go there because you and I both work in similar fields. You're
Hmm.
a TS, or no, it's not called TSS anymore.
Yeah, the
EET.
paraprofessional.
You're
Yeah, yep,
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep,
You
yep.
did you end up getting the job for Amerikey or did you not? Did you not take it?
I am looking at other avenues. I didn't take it, but yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking.
Okay.
Yeah, I got everything. Other things on the horizon. Yeah.
Um, so we work in a similar field. We work with kiddos that are neurodivergent, that have special needs. So I notice a lot with my kids, especially with my teenagers who have
Hmm.
psychotic episodes and
Hmm.
things like and autism and stuff like that. Sometimes they are like I had a kid like he says to me, he's like, yeah, I my grandmother sits with me at night and grandmother's passed away. And he's like, so I burn frankincense. Or not
Oh,
burn it, but put it in his diffuser,
but yeah.
diffuse frankincense.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay. So
All right,
do you
kid.
pick up
Yep.
on these kiddos that
Oh yeah.
have these gifts
Yep. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are neurodivergent?
Yep. Because I would watch Lunch Detail at the elementary I was working for, and there was an incoming kindergartner, and like just was looking up, and being the kindergarten year, they're not through the public education system, so they don't pick up on things until the end of the school year. But like
Yeah.
I knew it like right away. He's like looking up there, and he was like, there's a man, he's talking to me. And I was like, well, is he a good man? Just sat down, regular conversation.
Yeah.
Is he a good man? Well, he looks kind of scary, but no, he's okay and stuff. And I was like, well, if you're okay with him being there, and it's okay with you, that's fine. But I was like, if you don't want him, like tell him to go, and he'll go and stuff. So yeah, that was my little buddy. Yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is
And
on the spectrum now. So
and it's like, we're working in this field. We can't be like how we are when we go to places and we're like, oh, I want to
mm,
like tell you so bad. And you're like, you have to keep it to
mhm.
yourself in
You
a certain,
do. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do. But
Yeah.
I do see it. I agree with you. Like I see with that neurodivergency that there is a correlation between being able to connect a spirit and be a neurodivergent.
Yeah.
You should do some
Yeah.
research on that and write a book.
Okay. Oh, I'll try. I have so many. That's why I said I'm like I got some other plans on the horizon here.
Well, that's
So
because you have ADHD, so you probably have 8,000 other
I,
plans on the horizon.
there's only like 2 pathways. Come on, give me some credit. I'm down to 2, but
I know.
no, I was gonna say that kind of brought up a question for you too. I mean, I can say I'm drawn to asylums, poorhouses, and prisons because I think of the fields that we work in, because I'm drawn to these facilities because there is a lot of child energy or children energy that
Yes.
not necessarily should be there or still staying there. But unfortunately, people threw neurodivergent people into these facilities back in the day, and because they didn't know how to handle it. And I
Yeah.
just wonder if you're drawn to the same kind of places, because I'm drawn to them because the kids are like, Saralee, you can talk and see us, come play, So
Yeah. So, if anybody's in the comments that have watched my multiple podcasts or multiple lives that I have done, answer that question for her because you're spot on. Like there are certain like. Can anybody say like I don't know who's all watching, but can you say the one place that I will not investigate? Can anybody put that in the comments? Do you know that
Ooh,
where I
I'd be
will not
interested.
investigate? Let's see if anybody remembers that because I've talked about that multiple times. But yes, I am drawn towards places that maybe that housed kiddos, or even adults that have been neurodivergent, because that's what prisons are.
Mhm.
Half of our
Mhm.
prisons are people with
Mhm.
mental health issues.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah, and a lot of I pick
sounds
up
like
on
a
the energy.
asylums,
Mhm.
bordellos, and prisons. Mad crazy and
Yep,
asylum, basically. Yes.
yep, yeah, yeah,
But there is
yeah.
one particular place that I've been there,
Okay,
but I have not investigated. And I every time I'm there, I cannot handle the energy. So I will not.
okay.
We have been talking recently, actually,
Mhm.
Susan. I think we talked about it this weekend when you were here. Um, we've
Ooh,
been talking about
interesting.
I would need a support. I would definitely need a support staff. Yeah, there she is. She got
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna, and I was, you know what? I'm putting out. I was saying, oh, is Susan's answer correct?
Yes, it is. I walked into
Ah,
Mayflower. I was
yep.
just in Mayflower. I just went in, like I was there for the Paracon last year. I
Mhm.
know Susan, we talked about going. We all want to like
Yeah.
get a group together and do it. But I will need Susan and I will need my support people. I need to trust everybody that's with me because I probably will have a psychic attack. So
Yeah.
even no matter how many energies and things I put around me.
Yeah.
Because I have worked in Penhurst, things like Penhurst still exists today, and I've worked
Yep.
in it.
Mhm.
There's a
Mhm.
Braxis,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
Penhurst.
Mhm.
Like Abraxas still exists, a state-run hospital for
Mhm.
children with
Mhm. Yeah.
neurodivergent and disabilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. I
No.
went into Mayflower and I got strangled. I
Mhm.
got like but not by the kiddos. I got strangled by
Mhm.
King.
Mhm.
And because I was seen as someone that was there to like liberate and free the kiddos.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Which I asked if Susan's answer was correct because Spirit told me like right before you popped that up, I was like, I bet
Mhm.
you it is like she can't go to the number one place that I am drawn to. And
Well,
that's,
I'm
yeah,
drawn
I've been to,
there.
oh yeah, I've investigated Penhurst.
I have not. I
Yeah,
have
a
not.
couple of times now.
I've
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
opportunity to, but I've always turned it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
I have
just,
a list of people that I would definitely
yeah.
want with me.
Yeah. Yep.
Susan is one of them.
Yep. Yep. No,
So
we'll get the,
yeah,
yeah, we'll get the spirit crew together to attack that if
me too.
you're you're open to it ever. But yeah, no, yep, yeah, it is. It's awful. I have not been able to watch the documentary, the
I have not either.
what is it? Silence the Little Children or something like that.
I
So
watched it
yeah,
for a little bit and turned it off. Yeah,
mm-mm.
I'm the
I
same way.
can't. I can't.
I
I
know.
can't because I walk. Yeah, like you said, I've walked into those buildings or those tunnels, and like I see it. Like I don't need the
Oh,
documentary.
I literally got chills, Susan. I need to face King.
Yeah.
I do need to face King. I know I
Hmm.
do. I know I
Yeah.
do. Mm,
And that's why I said, Stacy, we'll get our spirit crew together and go because I
mhm.
actually just went in the fall and had it was too many people to
Oh,
invest
I
like
don't want a
people
lot of
to
people. Yeah.
investigate. But yeah, I don't but I planned it because that was the same thing, like experience that I
Mm,
had there. I needed to go
mhm.
back and like confront and be like, yo, this is not okay. Like, no. Mm-mm. So I
Yeah.
went, yeah. Hmm.
I no, I
Yeah.
agree. I was just there Valentine's Day. I did readings there
Mhm.
for their my haunted Valentine event that they did.
Okay.
It was a
Oh, yeah,
haunted
yeah.
event. Yeah, they do a haunted house and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
we were so busy, like I didn't really get like, and the Devon building doesn't affect me, at least not
Mhm.
upstairs. Maybe downstairs.
Interesting. Yeah,
um,
yeah, interesting.
when I go down, it does.
Mhm.
But I was also very busy, and you're able to kind of put those protections. And it was the first time Raven went out somewhere, so
Yep.
it was okay.
Yeah.
But still, like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. It's just okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
history there,
Definitely.
like people need, like we need to make people more aware of that history,
Mhm. Mhm.
and the fact that it is currently still happening.
It's still happening. Yeah. Yeah.
Still
I think
happening.
that's where I think that's where it is with the empathy and just that we have like in our field.
Oh,
Like we're still seeing it.
Trans
We're still seeing it
Allegheny.
happening.
Have you been
Oh,
to
yeah.
Trans Allegheny?
Twice, once for a
I,
tour, and then I investigated once, and
I did a
yeah, I was
tour.
picking up
I
stuff.
did not
Mhm,
investigate. I did a
mhm,
tour because
mhm.
I don't know if I can investigate that place.
Yep.
Like it's, oh, that was like the home of lobotomies. Like that's like,
Mhm,
yeah, a lot of
mhm,
energy there too. A
mhm.
lot of mental health energy. Like that's, and
Yeah,
like you said, I agree. Yeah. Like I'm
yeah,
these places that have these with mental health
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's hard to go into.
Yeah. A place that I couldn't go into and investigate, but I did a walkthrough tour of some of the buildings before they completely shut it down is Harrisburg State Hospital. Um, my sister lives in that area, and we would always go different seasons just because you
That's
could
where I
walk.
live. You know that, right?
Yeah, you no, I didn't realize.
That's where I live. I'm
Jeez,
about 20
I
minutes
see
from
you.
there.
I see you. I see you at these places like 3.5 hours away
No,
from our
I'm right
homes.
there. I used
But
to work like right there by it. And yeah.
right there by it. Yeah, but like
Yeah.
just the energies of the grounds of that place, like I would go
Hmm.
there just to walk and it's just like I had
Hmm.
said I never got to go in there, but that possibly would have been my kryptonite, like one of the places that I couldn't have investigated if I were
Who did you
allowed in
watch
there.
die? Who did you watch die?
There?
No, who did
Who did
you
I watch?
watch die
Oh.
in your life? Someone die in your life, you watch
Oh,
them die?
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Are you
why. That's
thinking
why you can't go in
oh,
there.
okay.
Sorry. I just
Yeah.
sorry, I
No,
picked that up. I'm
it's
like,
okay.
yeah.
No, wow. I'm impressed that you picked up on that. Her passing, the angelversary was just Valentine's Day because you were talking about Valentine's Day. Yeah, I helped her pass. My aunt asked me to help her pass. So, but
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, it's hard but beautiful at the
Hmm.
same time, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Sorry, I just picked
Yep.
up on that.
No, it's crazy because
Sometimes,
I was like,
so
wait,
maybe
what?
Aunt is here. Aunt is here, and she wants to say some things to you. Maybe she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she wants
Yeah.
she wants you to travel this road. She wants you to keep going on what you're doing. and bring
yeah. As
thing.
mhm,
Bring light. That's
yeah,
all she's
that
saying is bring light.
interesting, because that's the grandmother to the grandfather I had the first experience with, and like I would tell her that her husband was there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's all BS, like whatever." And I was like, "No, he just helped you on." She always did crosswords. I'm like, he just helped you on like 19
Mhm.
down. It was this, and she was just like, so that's I love that. That was great because
Yeah,
now I
because
know that
she's
like she's
seeing
out there.
now. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's seeing now. She's like, "Oh, you know what? Like, I didn't believe any of this shit." I think she thought she was just gonna like absorb into energy and like just be nothing
Mhm.
afterwards. Like
Mhm.
she didn't believe
Mhm.
in heaven or hell or any of that. Like she just felt um like it was just non-existence. But she's now, I think she's with you. She's with you a lot.
Yeah.
Like she's
Okay.
guiding you.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So try to
Yay.
contact
Well,
her.
thanks.
Sorry, I don't know
Okay.
why that they came out of nowhere.
That's fine. No. And I say like with how I work too, like I'll give props and stuff to what I consider babies on the other side. Like those in my mind's eye are those that
Mhm.
passed like yesterday up to 5 years. I consider them babies. Like they're still
Well, they're new. They're
learning.
still learning. They're
They're
still
new to the
navigating.
other side. Exactly. Yeah.
I did
So
a reading
so
recently with someone newer, like within a year, and it was
mhm,
like he kept going like
mhm.
back and forth to like, I'm still alive. I'm here to, oh yeah, this is, I understand the higher order of things. So it was like this horrible back and forth. It's like, yeah. So I understand what you're saying with like the babies,
Yep.
the new ones that have
Yeah,
recently passed.
yes.
So.
So I've kind of
Mhm.
let her go, and like I didn't foresee that she would be around and stuff, but yeah, it was the third angel versary this past Valentine's Day. So cool, 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 cool. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I was like
Shauna and
going on
Danielle are
that.
here.
Hey,
Ah,
hey,
I
she made
they
it.
had their
Hey.
they had their own podcast tonight, so it was um that's why they couldn't come on right away. So they must be done, and we're almost
Gotcha.
done. But
And we're
I know Sarah
almost
has got to
done.
go
Yeah.
pick up her
Pick
son.
up that refuses to learn how to drive. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like mama will keep
Yeah,
taking them and stuff, but it
I
gets
know. Yeah,
frustrating at times.
it does.
No,
Now
I was
our
gonna say
children are similar in age, right?
I
Almost
have
exact, right?
17. Well, yeah, because you have a birthday coming up. My middle, he has his golden birthday. He's going to be 13 on the 13th on Sunday. So,
Okay.
yep. And
Ours is
then
Thursday.
11.
Yeah.
Yep. So 17, 13, and 11. Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah,
Keep
I
me
only have
busy
two.
all
So
the
I have
time.
18 and 10
Yep.
and oh no,
Yep.
18 and 15. She's still 10 in my head. I want her to stay
Hey, I
10.
know. I know. I know. Right. Like when those double digits start, it's like, oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, but,
Yum, who dis?
yeah. Yum yum, who dis? Oh my gosh, that's yep, that's who Danielle is now from here on out. Every time I see her, yum yum, who
Oh,
dis?
really? Is that what it is? I
Oh
knew there
yeah,
was like a private
there's
joke
a
in there
store.
somewhere.
Yep, yep, indeed.
Damn
Um,
camera. For you guys,
oh
just joining us,
no,
my
see,
camera has been going in and out all night, and then I have to reconnect it because it wants to
that's
connect to
see, and
this
this is because the spirit
ghost
crew is in the
camera.
room now. Yeah, the spirit crew is in the house now. So,
I
Stacey, I
seriously
was
have a
actually
ghost
gonna
camera.
gonna say, um, leading into I did a collective read for tonight. You know, like
Yes,
you
you
had
did.
said, my health has been not so great of recent. So um, I know the way I work and stuff like that too. If I'm really, really sick, I stay away from haunted locations because when you're vulnerable like that, you never know what the heck's going to happen.
Hmm.
So I was planning on slinging some cards for everybody and stuff that, was in the room this evening, but that didn't happen. But I did a collective read. And where we're at right now, it's kind of across the board for everybody.
Hmm.
I have my past card is forbidden. So um, people have been needing to make choices recently, and it's obviously hurting, but a lot of people are letting it hurt themselves more than, for the good of moving forward. Present, I have the choices card, and that's the organicness, is that you gotta make choices to benefit you. Like the card, I don't see, it's probably gonna glare. Oh, maybe not. That present card, the choices, like he's got like a raven wing, and then he's
Hold
also
on. I'm
got
trying to
the
get you big. I'm trying to get you the big one.
yeah,
Oh, there we go. That might be a little
that
bit. Oh,
works.
he's got good abs.
Yeah, doesn't he? But
Susan.
it,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, the choices, he's got that raven wing, and he's got the angel wing stuff too.
That's as
So
big as I
it's
can get
a
you. Okay.
it's a balance. So these choices, the collective energy, we
Mm-hmm.
came off of the new moon a couple weeks ago, and we're going into a full moon,
Yeah.
and shit is all over the place right now. But
I know. Mercury
people,
retrograde, Venus retrograde. Like it's
yep, we're
been a
coming
hot
up on
mess.
that
Eclipse.
being, yes, all that. Well, and that was the thing, it was a solar eclipse with the new moon, like, for that morning. But these choices, people need to, in the present mind, like, you got to go with the lesser of two evils. And then my future card is that high priestess of water, and what she symbology or symbolizes is change. Like, change has to occur. So it's people. I feel like I've been getting the stagnant, the stuck energy of
Mm-hmm.
everybody as a whole, and
Mm-hmm.
there are things that are holding back. And we talked a lot about mental health and stuff. A lot of people are stuck in how they feel people are going
Show
to
you what I
think about
pulled.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, what people are thinking about, like, the emotions and everything of everybody else. But you need to, like, in the present with those choices, you
Mm-hmm.
need to do what is right for you. Like, waste the self-worth has gotta come up higher. And then, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
that high priestess of water. And I've been picking up like Pisces energy a lot lately, and I know that's a water sign, as am
Mm-hmm.
I, but we're a little fiery at times though too. So yeah, we're kind of stuck in our own ways. We need to set boundaries. A lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not
Yeah.
healthy. Like, there needs to be, going into the full moon, you need to set some healthy boundaries, make those decisions, or make that actual choice, so that you can move forward and let that shit go here in
That
this
resonates
full moon
so
coming up.
much with
So
me. I've
yeah.
been setting some boundaries and
Mhm.
getting some backlash from setting boundaries, but
Right.
it feels
But
good.
yeah, no, but that's
Mm-hmm.
actually that. And like, I hate to use like reverse psychology, but it kind of is reverse psychology. Like, say it more in a form of like optimism. So, like, instead of saying, "Oh, I cut these people off because I had to set boundaries," it's, look at it like, these people are just not coming with me because they're not
I
part of my
choose
healthy choices.
this
Yep,
path. Yes.
because of my
Mm-hmm.
healthy choices. Yep. So,
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
so
Kind of
you
switch
said
that
you got
around.
cards that are kind of along the
I
same
did,
line.
and it's so funny. I pulled some too when we were talking
Mhm.
earlier, and it's wishing. I don't know if you can say. I did my fairy deck, and I don't normally do
Oh,
oracle.
yay.
I normally do tarot, but
Okay.
it's my fairy deck, and
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
wishing you health. So this
Mhm.
is about
Mm.
dis-ease, not
Mhm.
disease, but dis-ease.
Mhm.
Like a lot of disease comes from that disease, and that
Mhm.
not being able to really take care of self and look within and work on some of those mental health issues that come with that health. And then the second card was Frillium, which actually
Mhm.
means self-care.
Yeah,
Self-care.
she's actually, not because I have self-worth too, which
Yeah, I know.
she's
When you
really
said that, I was
she's
like,
really
self-care.
self-care, like, she's really saying, like, do something for the self, like, yeah,
And we need to
I
do
have
more for
I was gonna say,
self.
there's color. I went and I was like, I'm gonna be different. I put
Exactly.
yeah, I have, like, the
Oh, I
little
like
but,
that.
it's business up
I
front,
like
party in the
that.
back kind of thing, so, yeah, do something for yourself, y'all.
Exactly. So each like, 'cause this is the fairy deck, so they each have a quote or a chant or a prayer. So
Mhm.
the first one being the health card. I want to. It's I am worthy of good rest. I am worthy of good food. I am worthy of good health. I am worthy of good in life. So be it. So it's understanding, like, talking, like, words or spells. I speak it into action. And then with the Trillium, that's that self love. Dearest Mother Earth and Father Sky, I am here to receive the love that is rightfully mine. As a child of the Spirit, I bring this love into my heart and I rejoice it. I give great gratitude for the pure potentiality that is me. I allow myself to grow and bloom in your light and your energy. So it be. So it's like, write a love poem to yourself today. Like, we need to love ourselves. I think that's what we need to get to, because we've had such a world that has cultivated loving others before loving self. And we need to get back to that. So
Mhm.
I think that kind of goes along with what your cards have pulled up. Like, it's time for self. It's time to be selfish. Set
Mhm.
boundaries. Do what's best for
Mhm.
you.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Who cares what everybody else is tuning in? Let them say or
Let
believe or
them.
whatever. Mhm.
Yes. But it's
Yep.
hard. That is
Oh, it
hard.
is. Oh, it is.
Very,
For
very
sure.
hard.
And
So,
I'm easy at giving that advice too, and not always
mm,
taking it. So,
I know, me too.
it's hard.
Me too. It's easy to give
Yep.
it. It's not so easy
Mhm.
to do it yourself.
Take it. Yep.
So, does anybody have any questions for Saralee while you're in the chat? Anything before we end here? I know she has to get her son off, or pick her son up from work. Where does he work at?
Yeah. He is at a movie theater. I'm kind of jealous. It's first job, movie theater, gets free
That's
movies, all that
nice.
stuff. But that Minecraft movie, it's making them work late hours. It's
I
crazy. It
know.
blew
I've
up.
heard there's some drama over that too. Like,
I guess. Yeah. But they have like every half hour time frame to show that darn thing in most of the theaters. So
my
I
kids
wanted to
went and
point
seen it
out,
this weekend. Yeah.
yeah, I was supposed to take my kids, but I don't remember what
I
came
don't
up.
do
I'm
movie
not rushed.
theaters.
I know I'm not rushing to
Hmm.
honestly. Honestly. But
No.
I wanted to say I noticed it's season 2, episode 11 too, which is all like balance, like the 2 and then the 1 and 1
I
is 2. It's
noticed that
balance.
when
It's
when I was
balance.
putting it
And
on
then
in the thing, I'm like, oh, she's
mhm,
episode 11.
yep. Yep. No, and then like 2 plus 1 is the 4, and it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
moving very transformative energy, so goes right along with our
Exactly.
reading.
I
So,
know, and I love you. Like, you and I don't get to hang out enough. We don't get to talk a lot, but we always talk when
mhm,
we're supposed to talk.
supposed
Like, do you
to,
ever
yep.
notice that? Like, when things are supposed to come together and we're supposed to do things together. So, yes,
Yeah,
we're gonna do
yeah.
Penhurst. You're gonna have to be there. Susan's gonna
Okay.
have to be there. I'm gonna need my Shauna and Danielle there.
I was just gonna say, yeah,
Before,
I see this little spirit crew. Yep,
but
I can visualize.
I need my Jim there. I need my Jim
Mhm,
Houston there. I
mhm,
have to
mhm,
have
yeah,
Jim there.
yeah. I
Um,
know he's been there quite a few times, so,
he
yeah.
has, and him
Mhm,
and I have talked extensively about this.
yep.
So I I he said, whenever you're ready, I'm there. And like, so we
Okay,
have to have Jim
yep,
there.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, we have to have good
yeah,
people, like people that
yeah.
not just people that just want to come. Oh, let's just come and have fun and investigate. I
Mm-mm.
want people that are really
Mhm.
like into the. And Rick,
Yep.
Rick, we're gonna talk. This is Penhurst, so we gotta talk about that.
Okay.
Rick is my first mentor.
Okay.
We worked at Cracker Barrel together when we were in our teens,
Hmm. Hmm.
and did all that urban exploring together.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
but Rick also told me I was gonna die when I was 33, but I did, but not.
Okay.
I died a
Uh-huh.
different type of death.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and this
so
isn't
he
your
was right.
yeah. I was gonna say we could talk about past lives and all that kind of stuff on one of your shows, I'm sure. And
Yes,
yeah,
I will
you definitely
definitely love to have you
rebirthed
back.
from that. So yeah, yeah. No, we'll get our crew there and go and yeah. Rick came up right when the vibes connect your tribes. Like
Hmm.
you've gotta
Yeah,
you've gotta go into
so
that with the right mindset. So
I do, and I'll need
yeah,
a lot of support. I will.
yep,
I'll need people to like.
yep,
I need my Shauna to tell me, "Shut the fuck up. You're all right."
right, yep.
I need her-
Oh, and she'll tell you. She'll tell you. Yep.
I need the realness of Shauna and Danielle. They're very real. Like they're very
Indeed.
real, and they're in reality. I need that. So.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right. Well, it was
Absolutely.
wonderful having you tonight. So, as of right now, are you offering readings to people, or if they reach out to you,
Yep.
or is it
Yep.
okay? So, where can they find you? I guess just on Facebook.
Yes, so you can find me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. I do hashtag the Saralee Paranormal Adventures to most of my posts, so you will be able to find that with the hashtag that I have there under my name this evening.
Hmm. And we never
So
did talk about the farts, but we'll do that.
we'll
That's
get yeah.
another episode.
Hearts. Right.
So, I just want to say that in case someone's on here that doesn't know you and they start searching you and they come across your TikTok.
Truth. Absolutely. I'm paranormal, pickleball, and pickle farts. The 3P. But that's how spirit brews in me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You either claim it or you blame it, and I claim it.
So,
So
real quick, I burp a lot when I,
mhm.
I am reading cards and reading for people. I burp a lot.
Yep.
Do you?
Yep.
A release for
That
you? Like,
that's that's mine's the opposite
mhm.
end. Yes, that's how
Yeah.
the energy. Yep. Uh-huh.
Susan
Yep.
says TikTok legend. Yes. I guarantee if you go over to TikTok and you search paranormal farts, your Sarah Lee is going to come up. So go do that.
Wait.
We're not going to talk about it because we're ending
We'll
here.
we'll
She's got to
save it for
go. I got
another
to go.
time.
But go to TikTok and search paranormal farts. Did you hear?
That was perfect. Good job, Raven. That was
Oh, I
great.
love you guys. I love you, Sarah. It's so good. When
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll see you. I guess maybe Creep It Real.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely creep it real, if not before. So
Yes,
I
I think
hope
there's a couple
before.
other
I hope
things. Are you going to
before.
Holly's
Mhm.
Memorial end of the month?
I think so. Yeah, depending
I
on the
feel that.
day, I think so. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so maybe I'll see you then. If not, I will see you
Sounds
at Creep
good.
It Real. And thank you for coming
Yeah.
on tonight. I appreciate you
Thank you.
and your energy, and keep it up. Like you're bringing that good energy into the field. So that's
All
what we
right.
need. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you all for being in the comments. Anybody that's commented, shared, liked, anything that you've done interactive in this, that has helped. So thank you so much. And we are here because of you. Like we wouldn't be here if there's nobody commenting, nobody here, we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys for being here in the comments. And I love you all. Please fill your cup first because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And have